Hi, welcome back to TV Show where we review all the best TV shows on the TV. When today we're talking about Legend of Korra, the series finale. It's 2 episodes and I don't know their names, but it was fantastic.
The Colossus and X-Men: The Last Stand.
First thoughts, I'm glad it's Team SourceFed.
Team SourceFed! Ow!
I brought the shirt in today, but I wore it yesterday, so I don't want people to be like, "You, Will, you're gross."
It's too much. First of all, it's an hour-long special.
Raina, you started crying in the beginning.
I
In the beginning.
I
The
cried.
credits started to roll and she started to
I
cry.
hate watching stuff with you guys because you guys have all these emotions and whatnot.
And you just
yeah,
sit
I love
there.
it too, and I'm just. I mean, nothing. I obviously I really loved it and all that, but like the only thing that gets me to emote like you guys is funny stuff, like how Asami's dad looks like Hayao Miyazaki.
And he just walks
had
in.
to be on purpose.
Oh, yeah.
Had to be on purpose.
What did you guys think of Kuvira's development from the season?
I thought, I thought she was developed into a bad character really, really well, but in just that one moment, she's suddenly not good again, but like she's
She's
realized.
understandable.
But that was so fast to me. I wanted her to go out being evil. That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't like when everybody is like good in the end, I guess.
If we had more time, it would have been wonderful to me to have an episode dedicated to showing. It didn't even have to have any they didn't even need to point anything out, but an episode dedicated to showing her past. Which would have been nice if we'd seen, what they do a lot in TV shows now, where they show where the bad guy comes from and why the bad guy is bad and why they're not really bad. They just have a skewed perception of reality.
But that's the
kinda got
lesson,
that.
though. Yeah.
We got it. We got it through voice.
Well, no,
It
we
would've been
kind of
nice
got
to
it
see
in the sense that at the end of last season, she saved Korra's dad, and we got the flashback to when she started her whole crusade. It was just. It was the Earth Kingdom was in shambles. She didn't have a real
in a
opportunity
weird way.
She did it in a weird way, but the intent was good.
Yeah.
And then those old hurts about Republic City and getting Earth Kingdom land and stuff like that kind of corrupted her. And so I think it's difficult because I think we can probably all agree that the high watermark of Avatar villainy is Zahir.
That's just
Yeah,
me
we
personally.
just
I know people disagree with me, so I'm not going to put that out there. For me personally, in my life growing up as William Haynes, Zahir, Enter the Void, whatever his last name is a cool guy.
It touched you.
What do you guys think
like
of the
that logic.
scale of the first half of this 2-parter, which was all just trying to stop that stupid Colossus?
I think
it was so difficult to stop.
Yeah.
our generation, or maybe just people since the 80s, need to see a whole bunch of stuff explode and blow up
Yeah.
before we can get to the story.
Yeah.
That
We
one
can have
thing
closure.
when he shoots the beam and slices 20
Everything?
buildings at the
Oh,
same
yeah.
time.
We
It's just
needed that.
explosion.
We needed that.
force.
We needed that. And
But I
then-
like the scale. I like the scale of it. I think the show does a really good job of selling a threat.
Yeah, this series, their villains go like this, of how dangerous they are. Because it's Amon, super dangerous because he threatens the city and Benders, but then you go to the force of all evil ever in the universe. But then you went down to a terrorist. Then you went back to a Colossus was and a spirit weapon that was unstoppable. So
You mean in terms of scale?
in
threat?
scale, yeah, it was a good
Yeah.
scale up. Because Kuvira is Kuvira, but
Yeah.
now she has a thing that is impossible to stop.
Yeah, and I thought that was good because she wasn't that threatening. The only reason she was able to stand up to Korra earlier in the season was because Korra was still dealing with her mental stuff. So I'm glad Kuvira got the giant mech because it made her more legitimate as a threat.
Okay.
I agree with
Or
that.
visceral, at least more visceral as a threat.
Her battle with Korra was short, but it was good. It was good.
I
Yeah.
liked
The
how they
hand-to-hand
did.
part, at
Yeah,
least.
that was short.
I
but
like
it was
how
good.
they-
Well choreographed. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. I liked how they did everything because, like you said, you got to see the landscape get destroyed in the city, and then you saw close combat battles. So I feel like that was just directed beautifully. You got to see everything, and you got to see each of the characters battle very. I guess. Actually, compelling opponents doesn't really make any sense because I feel like Mako and Bolin could have done more. Bolin did a lot, and I know
Mako could have done a lot more.
Mako did a lot. He did. We got to see his lightning bending. That was amazing.
While we're on
Fried his
this,
own arm.
before I forget about it,
Yeah.
what'd you say?
He fried
his own
arm.
arm.
I was gonna say
was
there's
cool.
a couple things they didn't really mention in that he totally fried his arm.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it was
he-
bright red when he was fallen, and when Bolin had to grab him out of there, out
Yeah.
of the
But
vent.
before we even get to that, we got to see the characters dress themselves. The Earthbenders were taking down buildings to try and stop the
Yeah,
thing.
That was crazy.
Mako
Come
got
on,
to
that was
lava
cool.
blend the thing. It was there was still a little bit of the watercolor backgrounds from
I
Budget
like the
Cut.
watercolor
I like it too.
I like the watercolor
yeah.
background.
What was?
I don't think that's a budget cut thing. I think that's just a stylistic choice.
I actually liked the watercolor, except one point they panned out to a shot and it didn't move. Like nothing in it moved at all for a
when
solid
they were
3
talking
seconds.
to Batar Jr. when they were talking. To him?
I actually don't remember when it was, but I think it was after the spirit portal opened up in the very end. But they panned out and it was just watercolor, and you see spirits floating around, but then they suddenly kind of just stop, and you realize that it's literally just a picture
That was
that you're
glitch
looking
on the
at.
camera.
and they
That's
just
when
pan out of it.
Yeah, that upset
Yeah.
me a little bit, but that's
I
just
got a
me.
little annoyed. I thought it was kind of funny, but with like the gnats of the airbenders going around the
Oh, when
Colossus.
he's-
But
I mean,
how
he,
cool
she.
did Tenzin look with his cape?
Tenzin looked
He was
awesome.
a
I know he was the
full-on
only one with the
Superman mode. It was
Oh,
so
that's
cool.
why you were so
It was
into
so
it.
cool.
It was cool. I
Yeah.
like that Milo didn't do like fart.
Oh my gosh, Sam and I
You
both had a
thought-
moment when
yeah.
Milo was capturing him. He was going down. Both of us were like,
do
"This
it.
is going to be dumb. This is going to be so dumb."
It's like, okay,
Yeah.
he did a
didn't.
normal adult thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
We also had Prince Wu singing, which was
That was
kinda
like it's
Shut up, all right?
You liked it, right?
I loved it.
I loved it too. I thought it was
but
great.
I relate with Prince Wu
Yeah.
as the
How?
kid who's
You used
like
to hate
not
that we.
Wu.
Oh no, we used to hate that we compared you to Milo. That's what it was.
No, I'm not. I'm way more Wu than I
Well,
am
all right,
Milo.
you're
Oh
right,
my
you're
goodness, this dude, and I want to say I called it at the beginning of the season. I said he was going to work it out
Yeah.
and be a good king. I was wrong about that, but
he was an adult. Though.
but we gotta admit, this was straight up Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, the bad guy's here, way stronger than me in every way. I can't win this, but
I'm gonna sing.
I got the power of music.
What are you doing now? I'm distracting you. Duh.
Yeah, I'm distracting.
and then the giant badger moles.
They were
That was
fantastic.
cool.
That was cool. That was a cool way to
Didn't
get out of the
expect
city.
that.
It was
And,
really random.
Pema got a chance to like.
Talk.
She looks like a cool mom.
Yeah.
Like you just realize you're a cool mom.
You know when
Yeah.
you walk down the street and you
She's
see that
capable.
mom that you're like, how have you not put your kids in a something and did something to them?
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah. And then you realize how a lot of singing apparently. Singing's how you tame the beast in this show.
I guess. I
They-
think I didn't like that she was like, "What? I raised Milo. This ain't no thing."
Oh, it's silly. It's fun. There's a tweet here from Rachel Elyson from Twitter. Wheel of Lava is pretty dang cool. Yes,
Oh,
what?
Bolin.
What Gazan used something like that, but
Yeah.
Bolin using it was pretty dang
pretty cool.
If Kazan hadn't killed himself, he could have taught a lot of people some cool stuff.
Right?
You didn't suicide off yourself, man.
Kind of gave him a lesson right before he did it.
He was like, well,
Yeah.
let me try to kill you and learn as much as you can if you don't die.
But speaking of deaths, we did get.
Oh, man.
Asami's
His
dad.
father.
Yeah, Asami's
It's
dad.
not. Oh, yes, I can.
Asami's dad showed up just in time to sacrifice himself because he was a big jerk.
Wait,
and he
did they
kinda deserved-
explain how he got out of prison?
Yeah,
Lynn got him.
Yeah, Lynn was like,
we'll
"Listen,
throw
we'll
him
throw him
back
back
in
in prison."
She didn't even
once
ask.
the-
Yeah, she just kind of did
I
it.
would have been
You're
like,
right.
She's the
hey,
chief of police.
I don't know if you knew this, but that was my daddy and we had issues. I
There's
don't
a-
know if you need to break him out of prison, and I'm stressed out right now.
Yeah.
There's a
Luckily,
budget cut. There's no budget cut. There's no time for that.
he's like, I'm sorry, there's a budget cut. I couldn't explain it. I didn't have time.
They
I
cut
wonder
to
where
the
she came
chase.
up with that idea. It's like, where would
Yeah.
I get more people to help? Oh,
Yeah.
prison.
Luckily,
Right,
luckily they had
prison.
just made it up. They had just, Asami and her father had just made it up before that, or that would have been real awkward.
And also, we got.
Very
Julie?
Julie.
That was so
beautiful.
cute. Do the thing. I love that. Do the thing.
Yeah.
Use
became-
that joke a lot.
Yeah, they made it a meme.
Joel Jung at Cesario said they did the thing. Grats to the creators, best possible ending, but they did.
They did the thing?
Julie and Varric did the thing. Best season for Varric.
Yeah.
Varric went from a character that really annoyed me to
Oh,
one
you
of
didn't
my
like
favorites.
him? Oh, I love
Because he was a
Varric.
bad guy. Season 2, he's a bad guy.
He's like a bad guy, but he was like a, like, you kind of liked him still.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
charismatic.
Yeah.
Doesn't make it better, but it's just like, main reason why I like him.
I feel like I did have an issue with him too, but like I don't know, anybody who's funny to me is cool in my
I was gonna
book.
say that it really softened him to be funny because otherwise he would have just been like at
An
first,
asshole.
yeah. And I
Yeah.
thought he was kind of the root of all evil. I remember in season 2, I was like, oh, he's behind all of this, but lo and behold,
Not really.
I mean, he was,
No, not at all.
He was out
actually,
for himself.
yeah.
He was always out for
Yeah, he
himself,
was-
no matter what.
But I
Yeah.
thought his character arc this season actually made him funnier as he was trying to figure out, because it gave him things to figure out, like, I'm having guilt and I don't know how to deal with that, and I have
Yeah.
feelings for Julie and I don't have to deal with that. And to me, it made him funnier because
Yeah.
it gave
I
him
just
something
realized the ring that he gave her, was that some spirit vines?
I
it
think
looked,
made out of jade.
it looked jade.
Leave
yeah.
the spirits alone. Okay, Jade.
Yeah, it
Okay,
looked
I was gonna
jade.
say, yeah.
That would have been real
spirits.
I would
shitty.
be like, come on, dude.
Like
you
when
need to-
everything turns purple and her finger blows off. That would have been.
He gets sucked into the forest. He's like, ooh, she did the thing.
Sami's dad helped him break in, and then that set up for the last episode, which gave Team Avatar minus Tenzin. But plus Suyin, I'm glad she was a part of it.
Oh, yeah.
I love that voice
She
actress.
needed to be in there.
I liked how this finale was kind of the opposite of Avatar's finale, in that Avatar's finale was big and wide open, and this was very contained.
Contained in the
In
colossal thing?
The Colossus, yeah.
Colossus? Is
And
that
we
its
got
name?
some,
Yeah, well, they called it
just-
in that
yeah.
episode, yeah.
and I think we got some of the best fighting of the season with Lin and Suyin.
Yeah,
and
but also
then-
Korra.
Yeah, Korra. Yeah, I was gonna
This
get to
was
that.
my favorite Korra fighting because before
Yeah.
she's always like done cool things in the background or like
Yeah.
when she's trying
She's
to fight
dodged
minor people.
really well.
Yeah, she's dodged great. but
Really
like,
well so
when
far.
she punches her way into the head, she immediately takes out 2 guards, not even thinking about it, and then throws a punch, and then that liquid metal.
Is this-
Yeah, apparently
Yeah.
the wheels are liquid metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was amazing.
I'm sure when I'm saying this, everybody in the comments is gonna be like, "Don't you remember episode 3 of season 2 of the first?" But is this the first time somebody's hit somebody without bending in Avatar?
Yeah, she has that great grapple
think it
move.
has happened.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
she has that great grapple move where she grapples
And then
Kuvira and flips her.
Yeah,
That
That
was
was
cool.
real
Yeah.
cool. We all went, oh yeah.
Yeah, we really did. We're children.
that was cool. I
Yeah,
loved it.
It stood out.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had people with there had to have
I'm
been
not-
the boomerangs
I'm
and
not-
stuff.
I'm not gonna lie.
But did somebody just punch somebody?
No,
Yeah.
in Avatar, what was that girl with the gymnast
Oh,
circus
the-
girl?
Oh, she did.
She did.
Yeah.
She
I
didn't
mean, well,
have
let's
a
be
weapon.
honest.
Wait,
yeah.
I don't believe in violence, but if I was firebending somebody, I would have to knock it up.
Yeah.
Every once in a while.
You gotta play dirty.
What are we doing? We're fighting. I was mad. I was mad.
But I also like there's a tweet here from Page channel number
yes.
95. Kuvira should have
Chanel?
been eaten by spirits or something. Doesn't anyone believe in karmic justice anymore? Asami's dad, who was a jerk, got his justice before he switched things. But I can't tell you how much I loved that this fight was resolved without a punch.
killing somebody?
Were you some kind of airbender?
Well, yeah, most fights in shows like this, most fights in shows that I love end with like, I can punch harder than you.
Yeah.
And this was more. I was afraid that when she went into the Spirit Force, I'm like, that's not. They don't like you. You should not
could've-
go in there.
they could've
Yeah, no,
kept
yeah.
going.
You said that, yeah, I
Could have done
remember.
that really easily, but I like that they established earlier that the spirit's like, no, we're not.
They're
we don't
backing
have
out.
anything
Wait.
to do with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They still had their bending at the time. That fight could have kept going on. I
Kept
think
going
it-
on there,
they got
but it was
sucked in.
an
she
emotional resolution.
She was weak, but
Yeah.
they could have kept
Yeah,
fighting.
they could have, but they did. It came down to reasoning, to logic, and I think it was good because that was kind of the whole point of this season.
Yeah.
Corey even says at the end,
It's forgiveness.
yeah, that I had to go through suffering so that I could be more
Compassionate.
compassionate.
Yeah.
Mm,
No,
yeah.
the Korra, the whole series is about adults making adult decisions, not just punching your way to figuring out a
Yeah.
problem or a solution to a problem. So I love that they, like, Kuvira was crazy and she used the giant gun, which was really cool, and it was just going crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus Christ, why did you do that? That's so stupid.
Yeah.
And of course, it's gonna break.
yeah.
If you're swinging on anything like this, you're gonna break it, no matter what.
It was
Unless
cool that
it's
you
a
could
zip
see the
line.
gyroscope inside of the actual thing, though. I liked that you could see her losing balance, but then she like gains balance again. I don't know. It was just really well
It
done.
was cool.
And it creates a new spirit portal.
And finally, like I was like wondering during the whole fight prior to Kuvira, like they taking down the Colossus, I was like, "Where's the water? Why has no one used
There's
water yet?
water.
Not one person has brought water into this fight." And it's like air, fire,
Yeah.
earth. It's like, oh, okay. It's like
Yeah,
it's
right.
the last stand or straw.
Yeah.
or
I
whatever.
agree. That was
Water with
her
ice.
best
Yeah.
bending.
And Korra is a waterbender.
And
Yeah.
she very little used her avatar state. She
Yeah.
used it for the wind thing,
Yeah.
for like a
Just
air
a
tone.
kind of, it's like a
Wait.
booster.
That's the thing only Avatar do too. I've never seen any. No, I think Tenzin has done it. Tenzin has
What?
done it. Never mind. I like may put their body into like a wind.
yeah,
tunnel
I
thing?
think he did it like
Yeah.
one time. Yeah.
Wait, I have a really weird question. Okay, you know when Korra and Kuvira get sucked into the portal, the new spirit world portal? Did she bend that spirit energy?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
She learned how to bend the energy from Rava.
That's some real Avatar stuff right there, man.
And created what looked like a nuclear explosion. It was real scary looking.
I'm gonna bet that not
Such a
everyone was
good
outside
show.
of that city yet. I mean, not to be
I
negative.
hold, yeah, it was funny. They kept talking about evacuating the city, and it's like with all that the spirit gun going off, it's like you better have because there a lot of people are dying.
Oh,
if you
You
do.
said there were millions of people, and within a day's notice, you got every single one of them. No, you didn't.
No.
you
There were
did
some
not.
vagrant homeless people
Yeah, they got
that were
blown
like,
up.
oh shit.
What's happening?
But they didn't really move that fast, so
Because they're just people.
Spirit portal. I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
I expected giant
Neither.
spirit Korra to show up at some
Me
point
too.
to fight the Colossus.
The Colossus,
that would have been cool.
that would have probably been convenient.
That would have been.
Yeah, but it
too
wouldn't have been
convenient.
as cool as them ripping the tops off of buildings and throwing it at the.
That's
That
true.
was epic.
And that wasn't
amazing.
even all Korra. She threw a couple blocks at her. Also, really like when Kuvira was like, "No, I'm not giving up," and threw just a brick at her
Brick
face.
at her and then
Oh,
ran
yeah.
away.
Knocked her out because I'm like, finally, something that makes sense. If you get hit with a rock, you
get
probably will
knocked
go down
back.
for a little bit. There's a tweet from Matthias. It said, did anyone notice how Rohan, the baby from the previous books, had hardly shown? Is he even an airbender? He's like, that doesn't matter at all. He was in the very last scene. Pema was chasing him. So you're like,
Looking a lot
he's
like
not
Milo.
dead.
Yeah.
He's not dead at all. He's still
Yeah.
alive,
He's
but
still
he's not
around.
important enough for this story.
Yeah.
So he could have
No.
been there earlier. But
He's
whatever.
like a younger,
what's
crazier
a
Milo
3-year-old
now.
kid gonna do?
Yeah.
Not much.
I mean, what did Camilo do? For some
They
reason, he
should
came
not
up
have
with
had
a
Milo.
plan.
Every time Milo and the kids are like running around, I'm like, why are you having him in this
Yeah.
fight?
Oh,
This is
yeah.
the
Tenzin, you're a
dumbest
bad
thing.
father.
Be more protected. Jinor almost got vaporized.
Tenzin, you would put your kids into so much danger. Open your eyes.
Open your eyes.
I would never send my kids to go fight a giant monster, no matter how many soldiers we didn't have.
I wouldn't send them off to go find Korra. I wouldn't let them be in the middle of a revolution. I wouldn't do anything. They're like, oh, we want to stay behind and help.
Especially because
No.
you're an endangered species as humans. There's only like 70 of you guys left.
70.
You just sent 10% of the whole race. I mean, I think the whole series, both series, are beautiful masterpieces. But the only thing that I personally, because I want to, again, like I said before, it's somebody else's art, and I want the art to be the way they want it to be. But what I personally would have liked from the finale is Korra getting back her previous avatars, kind of the thing that it means to be the avatar.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna resolve that.
I know I said it like a couple episodes ago that we don't need to see. I said I want to see like Aang, but we don't have to. And they were like, they saw that and what I said, and they said, okay, we won't give it to
They
you.
watched it.
But I personally, I'm gonna pay them some money to go draw in like some stick figure Aangs to say, you did good, Korra. It's me,
You did.
Aang.
Why are you lying?
No, make it like they'll re-edit in Ghost like they did in the Star Wars.
It's hard to-
Like
yeah.
Aang's there in the back.
Why so awkward?
And Appa is just there too, but it's his bones.
Yeah, we should have at least
God.
seen. We should have at least seen at the wedding, like Toph and Zuko, like
Yeah, that would've been
with
very
Aang and
cool.
Katara.
That would've
just
made it-
one table, just all the.
They're all.
That would have made
my
this
back
the
hurts.
ultimate Star Wars reference.
Yeah.
Oh, if they had just resolved one thing, just the one thing, is if Zuko got to see Iroh. If Zuko got to see Iroh,
They
'cause
probably
it'll
had
happen
their
in the
moment.
comics. They probably have.
Catharsis.
It'll happen in the comics.
But they should have shown it to us.
But that wasn't
wanted
that
to
wasn't
see it.
Korra's thing to fix.
Well, and that's the thing.
yeah.
This show was more about Korra's progression as an individual,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
on
I
that
think-
level, I think this show did fantastic.
I think this show is also supposed to stand alone. It's supposed to be for people should be able to understand it if you've only seen Korra.
And I
Yeah.
think you
Yeah.
could. I think
Yeah,
you could still
easily.
understand it.
Yeah.
That you get that if someone from the old show showed up, they were important, but you don't know why, but they still made sense to the story.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it was never for anything just about Aang.
And there's
Well, the
so
same
much.
way-
That's what I'm asking for.
And a lot of them are relatives to one another, so you still
Yeah.
know that they're important.
God
regardless.
dang, there's so many
Exactly.
Beifongs.
In the same way,
There's like
that's true.
15 of
I
them.
know.
Somebody
We
that's
talk-
blind.
Yeah.
You had a lot of family.
it ended up becoming like Korra. It was Korra's series, but Lin was a close second
I was
to
gonna
being
say,
a protagonist.
you were just saying how it was very much about Korra and her decision and her growth and everything, but there was a lot of Beifong story.
And
Like,
it makes sense that the most
50%.
messed up of the families that came out of the original Avatar series would be Toph.
Tophs?
Because Toph had the least, like, pretty much all the other characters kind of knew who they were and were confident and complete people. It makes sense that Toph would be the
Person
And she
that
was
I'd be
quite
most
young.
focused
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
have the most baggage coming out of
I like
that.
the most bag.
Yeah, but they resolved most of
They-
that in this, and some of the best episodes of the show were Lin overcoming her shit.
Yeah, which is cool.
And they
Yeah.
draw her like Toph a lot. Her like facial expressions and everything are very like in tune with Toph. I
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
The big thing at the very end was
Yeah.
Korrasami, which they were together, and you're kind of like, are they flirting? Are they crying? Are they just being friends? And then they end up walking off hand in hand together and facing each other.
And then
into the
they
spirit
hold
portal.
hands and face one another. Okay, it's not that I know I'm all like hashtag Korrasami, woo, but it's not like I really need them to end up together or anything.
Yeah.
This kind of shocked me because it's one thing to hold hands with each other, that's okay, but to, in a vat of light, face one another and hold hands, like that. I don't know. That
Imagine if you got into an elevator.
You wanted
the person you cared about.
You wanted
How'd you
bad.
get into the elevator with just a friend?
Will
like,
does this all the time. I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
would do that
but
with
like
Steve
they were
any
like
day.
they were like.
Yeah, you're right.
Here's
They were
the
real
thing.
close.
It could have been.
I like what
that
you were saying.
They wanted it to be a lesbian relationship, and that's as far as Nick would let them go.
Which would have been cool.
For me, it was this perfectly vague thing. If you want them to be in a relationship, it can be. Personally, I would prefer it and enjoy it more if these characters were not defined by the romantic entanglements.
Of course.
And
No,
that
of
we end the
course.
series with them just being single.
What
That's why I thought it was weird that they faced each other.
Yes.
What I don't like about it is that if it's made a big deal about it either way, whether they're gay or they're straight, I
Yeah.
think they should just be treated as people.
Yeah.
And if you're making a big deal about it, you're not as bad as people are like. But it's just like let it be a thing.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
Or think
No,
of it
they
as
are
like
my
each
chess
other.
Yeah.
pieces. I would like them to.
or you know, like chess pieces. Oh,
Yeah.
when you're with Bay and, and you're playing chess. But I mean, it's really smart of them to do that. Once, it's a fan service, and two, you just got the attention of everybody because you maybe had a lesbian relationship or a bisexual for Korra. I'm not really sure, but like
Well,
relationship.
But they
Both of
both
them, yeah.
were
They
Mako.
both dated Mako, which
Yeah,
is
they both
weird.
did. So they
Mako.
have that
Eskimo
relationship
sisters, whatever.
but on a show, on a kid show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got attention. So maybe that's the big thing.
Like
And the
that.
most important thing about this is that Seychelle Gabriel is a fine woman. Is a
Yeah.
gosh darn smoke show.
I think the
Thank
most
you.
important thing is that Seychelle Gabriel favorited one of your tweets last
She
night.
did. I sent her
Whoa.
an irrelevant tweet, and I screen capped it and sent it to Reina. Like, yeah, she acknowledged my existence for a couple of seconds.
And I was jealous.
She
of course.
forgot about it, I'm sure, but like, I'm this close.
So for you guys, how was it? How was the finale?
Oh, I was great.
It was fantastic.
It was beautiful. It was
I was-
beautifully
I was-
drawn, and the story was great.
I was really sad about it like 2 weeks ago, but I had to let go of that tether and accept that all things end. So I'm sad that I won't ever get to see any animated Avatar stuff ever again.
That's how I feel.
What'd you hear?
I didn't hear anything. My hope is that I would like to see an animated movie that takes place in what would be, you know how this kind of feels like the 20s?
Yeah.
That takes place in the future, like a cyberpunk.
In the
like,
90s, when an
the-
airbender is born,
Like the
named
la-
William Haynes.
like the story of the last Avatar. Like I feel like, and in a perfect world, this will never happen. I think this world would be perfect to have little animated 5-minute shorts that go up on YouTube, like a Bravest Warriors type thing that take place all throughout, from the
Yeah.
very beginning to the end, to the jump
Yeah.
all around. That we get to see. Hey, here's a 5-minute short where Zuko finds his mom. I know it's in the comics, but
I think I don't remember.
Like,
I didn't know it was. I don't remember if I said this on the show or not. But if there was another Avatar series, I would like for it to be somewhere in between the first Avatar and Korra. Like that has nothing to do with anybody.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you did say that.
Just randomly in between.
But that's
them
if they
somewhere.
had like an this series feels ripe for like an anthology type thing where you could have stories that don't have anything to do with
they're
any of the
completely
characters we
independent.
know about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when Disney buys the rights, they'll make it millions of stuff for the rest of our life.
Yay!
Please just have one more. But we'd say
Want
that
one more
every
series?
time. One more
Just
series.
one more.
I know.
It is. It's like drugs.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. That's what they did. They made a great series and they made great characters and cool worlds.
Yeah.
Let go
And-
of that tether, man.
And I feel like Korra, if it hadn't had some of the budgetary issues that it had this season and season 2 into another animation studio, might have been overall just better than the first series.
I've said
don't
it
know.
before.
Is-
I think this is a better series than Avatar, just because I enjoy it more. I connect more with.
I
it.
think Avatar is the Hobbit. And I'm thinking of this because Hobbit came out this weekend, but Avatar is the Hobbit to this Lord of the Rings. This is the more mature outgrowth
Yeah, it's
of what is
definitely more
essentially a
mature.
kid's fable, and I think they both function perfectly. Like when I have kids, I'm gonna have them watch the Avatar, the original Avatar cartoon, and when they're
They're gonna be like, "What's
preteens,
this 4x6 square frame?"
I don't
Like-
know what's going on. And then when they're older, have them watch Korra because it grows with the audience. And if I'm being honest, I feel like season 3 of Korra is probably the best season Avatar Korra that show's ever done.
Yeah,
just
it
love
was solid.
Zahir.
I would have
all the way around.
loved to
Loves
see
Zahir.
if Aang was against Zahir, it would have been very good for me too. To see someone who's older than you and you don't know whether or not they're correct or not,
Yeah.
and they're like you a lot, that would have been very interesting.
Yeah, well, because that's ended up what happened with Korra is that her realization that Kuvira is
Her.
Bigger you.
Oh,
In a way,
yeah.
Yeah,
That was beautiful.
It was really cool because when they did the original fight for Zaofu and she saw herself,
Yeah.
I thought that had to do with maybe like an evil spirit thing because the other spirits could
Yeah.
see it. But I guess they kind of didn't resolve that really.
Yeah.
They kind of just steered around it. And then,
Yeah, I thought they
but-
were going to go with something when she was in the spirit vines.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
but it
ended
was
up forgetting
cool.
about that.
It was cool to see like you saw Korra, but she became Kuvira because it's not about an evil spirit entity, whatever that haunts Korra. It's about Korra trying to accept herself in this new role that she has and not be afraid anymore.
All I'm saying is that Avatar is the greatest thing that I've ever seen in my life. Ever. So,
And Korra looked beautiful at that wedding.
I can't tell you how.
I think Kasami looked beautiful.
Anyway, it's a cartoon. When they were fighting, when Kuvira and Korra were fighting in the thing, it was a moment of like, we're watching two really badass women just be really badass. And that was really cool.
There's one shot where they threw an air blast and they threw metal at the same time, so they go opposite
And then it
directions.
slows down for like a moment. Oh, that was
And
beautiful.
I like really, and that's kind of how I translate the Korosami thing. It's just like,
Strong
listen,
women
can be cool too. And I like that it really, I've read some reviews that really dive deep into it. I think it's just, again, treat people like people. People are people, and there's all
Not
types
defined
of
by the relationships, yeah.
by the relationships or their gender. Or Korra's just a compelling character. Asami is just a really compelling character. Mako is not as
say.
compelling a character, but Bolin's really compelling a character.
I still love Mako.
I enjoy his character. He's
Yeah.
not compelling, but he's still really good.
Zuko is still my favorite character of
A little bit, yeah.
Zahir still takes second place to Zuko in the show overall. Zuko's still my favorite character of
There you
Avatar.
Aang is
go.
still my favorite
Yeah.
everything. I like Prince when I relate with him, but I really relate with Aang.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Being a dumb kid.
You were saying, well, with the relation, not defining people like people. The people are people. There was an article I read about Korra when it started, and they were like, "Why did you create a weak female character that always kind of gets her butt kicked as the series happens?" She's like, "No, we didn't create a weak character. We created a powerful character, but she needs to develop. And like, it's not about her being a woman or weak or anything like that. It's just she's a person." That needs to develop into this amazing savior.
They're doing that thing again where society puts their woes or their beliefs onto characters. They like assume things, but they're like, they just made a thing.
Yeah,
People put all these thoughts and thought so much about it, and they're like, we just made a thing.
I would
Which is
agree
cool
with
though,
you.
because you created something that other
I mean, a
people
lot of
care
it was
about.
intentional.
No, yeah, I was gonna say I would agree with you, but we talk about a lot how this show specifically does cater to the opinions of their audience. So I feel like
They've
it's
been on
maybe
Tumblr a
not,
lot.
yeah, and maybe it's
what we
not
mean
that
by that.
off for them to delve that deeply into the philosophy that other people have created for them.
Yeah.
I feel like it's
Yeah.
not that off.
Chorus
But
on
if you
me.
thought Korra was weak, I mean, Lynn's around, Janora's around. Like this show was filled with powerful
Very
female
strong.
characters.
Powerful people in general.
Yeah,
powerful
very powerful people. Yeah.
And who also needed to evolve and change. Like,
Exactly.
Nora evolved and changed and became a master airbender.
Even
Lynn
Zuli.
was a master, and she had to
Zuli.
break apart and then come back together into a new person.
And one of my favorite character arcs is Tenzin in season 3.
Yeah.
He's dealing with the new airbenders and his brother, and that part where he's finding. No, that was season
Season
2
three,
where
season three.
he's finding them in the spirit mist.
That was season 2.
That was almost.
Oh,
That was
wow,
intense.
really?
Yeah, that was intense. It was a powerful moment. The show's really good at understanding its characters and creating powerful moments.
When you look just like your dad and you find him in the mist and think it's you.
Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
I cried 4 times while we watched that.
You needed to step out after.
Yeah. I was like,
the first episode.
could I take a break?
Yeah. It was intense. They did a good
Cried a
job.
lot. I thought Mako was gonna die. I cried. I grabbed
Yeah, I was
Will's
pretty sure
wrist
Mako
like
was gonna
this.
die.
Also,
Yeah.
he wasn't really in that first half because there's nothing he could. What are you gonna throw some fire at the thing?
But
Like he's
that-
not gonna do anything.
Lightning!
Yeah.
But the lightning bending he was doing, with the shirt pull, that was.
Mako's
so sexy. I mean, cool.
Mako's personal rule to himself that he established is that I only use lightning bending in the season finale.
At the most, like the very last second where he could have used it way earlier
Yeah.
and had been done with the whole thing.
But no,
Anyway,
Beautiful.
That's it.
I can't believe it's. I feel empty.
we still have it. It's still. a
I know,
thing.
It's
but
still
it's
there,
not,
but it's not there.
Let
Yeah.
go.
I can't let go.
Will still has an episode he hasn't seen that he can hold on to forever.
Yeah.
Let's spoil it for you right now.
I'm not even gonna
It's
tell
a
them.
fu-
I've intentionally. I think I might have accidentally said which one it was, but I've intentionally not watched an episode, and that way
know
it's
exactly
never
which
over
one.
for
Yeah,
me.
you've said it like 3 times.
Can you
It's not
say?
really-
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it?
I know which
is
one.
it from Korra or is it from
I'm
Avatar?
not telling you because you love to talk about stuff.
I love to talk about Korra. Everyone at this house is mad about spoilers.
I wonder why.
So any of you host people want to wrap it up?
No, see, I don't want to wrap it up because
that means it
it's
ends.
over.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, okay.
Well, guys,
Do we just want to walk off?
Let's just walk off
Hey,
sad.
listen, you know, one of the cool things, first of all, I want to thank you guys for letting me be a part of this conversation this season, and our producers, Len
That
Ricky,
wasn't
for
my
letting me be a
choice.
part of it. I know. But we got some other cool fan art beyond this shirt. Some fans of
some people made some new stuff.
Yeah, they did. Thank you so much.
including Anthony Rosario, who did a version of Matt as a non-bender. I got a cool new one of me that I wish I was that cut in real life.
you guys have helped me
Swole.
realize my childhood dream of being the gosh darn Avatar.
And you are.
So here's a new challenge to have it live on. If they were going to do a future Avatar in some cyberpunk world, draw what you think that
Who says
Avatar
it's got to be
would look like.
cyberpunk? Don't put them on that limit.
I'm just saying, whatever you think the future Avatar
I wanted to be
would
in the past, closer to how Wu was.
Just draw everything, and if you want to keep drawing
Anything
me
you
as
want.
waterbender,
Draw what I want.
Let's
Anything,
draw your how you'd want to show the show to continue.
And
You want
if
future
we
Avatar,
were on the
past
show,
Avatar.
animate a whole show that we're
Animate a whole-
main cast.
Then put it on Kickstarter. We'll back the shit out
Yes.
of
We
that.
will
Oh my
back
god,
the-
yes. Yes, we would. Immediately.
Yeah.
As long as it's good, it has to be good.
And I'm Oopie.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching the TV show for Legend of Korra. This is super bumming me
It's
out.
really
Yeah.
bittersweet.
Yeah.
That was a journey we went through.
Yeah, it was very cool.
Did you learn nothing from Zahir? Did you learn nothing from
What?
Airbender philosophy? Things in.
Philosophy.
Let it go.
But you know what's not
Meditate
ending?
on what attaches you to the world and
Don't
let it go.
touch
Let
me.
it flow down the river.
TV show's not ending. Let us know what
Do a
shows you
critique.
think we
Yes,
should do
that's
next.
a good
We're going to go
point.
on a little bit of a hiatus. But there's a bunch of other cool shows coming out soon.
And
I know-
Superheroes TV show comes back in
January sometime. Whenever we
9.
get 2 or more shows to come back. Agent Carter's coming out.
I think January
So,
20th is
yeah.
what we're aiming for.
Yeah.
And don't forget to watch Anime Club
Yes.
to get your anime fix.
Yeah, you guys are doing
Korra
some-
was an American.
Who's on
anime.
that?
Yeah, you guys are doing some really cool things with that in the coming weeks as well.
Yay! Check it
And
out.
the drawing board.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm Sam Basher.
I'm Reina Scully.
I'm a gosh darn Avatar, William Haynes.
And I'm just plain old DJ Woolridge.
And I'm Oopie.
Good at it.
I'm really bummed out.
I'll end all the pain.